Once upon a time, in a land of shimmering castles and enchanted forests, lived two very famous princesses, Aurora and Elsa. Now, you know Aurora, right? Sleeping Beauty loves a good nap. And Elsa, the Snow Queen from Arendelle, can conjure up a blizzard faster than you can say, "Let it go." They were visiting a neighboring kingdom, a place famous for its annual Festival of Lights. The kingdom was ruled by a kind but slightly eccentric old wizard. He was powerful, wise, and had a magnificent long white beard that he often tripped over. But he had one tiny little quirk. He was a sleepwalker. And not just any sleepwalker. When this wizard sleepwalked, he would unconsciously cast spells. Random, chaotic, and utterly unpredictable spells. The first night of the festival, everyone was gathered in the grand hall. The wizard, tired from all the royal duties, had dozed off in his large velvet throne. Suddenly, his eyes fluttered, but they were glassy, unfocused. He stood up, stiff as a board, and began to mumble, "Abracadabra, hocus pocus, turn all the teacups into *snores*, frogs." And just like that, poof, every single delicate teacup in the hall sprouted legs and started hopping around, ribbiting loudly. The guests shrieked, some in terror, some in laughter. Aurora, ever the graceful one, simply raised an eyebrow. Elsa, however, was not amused. A rogue frog had just landed in her ice water. The next day, the sleepwalking wizard struck again. He wandered into the royal gardens where Aurora was admiring the roses. "Twinkle, twinkle, little star, make these roses. Yawns. Sing opera." Instantly, the entire rose garden burst into a deafening off-key rendition of Figaro. It was an experience. Petals quivered as they belted out high Cs. Aurora, bless her heart, tried to conduct them for a moment before giving up and just covering her ears. The chaos was getting out of hand. The castle guards were now wearing tutus, thanks to a sleepy spell. The grand fountain was spewing lukewarm gravy, and the court jester had been temporarily turned into a very confused-looking armchair. Elsa had had enough. "That's it," she declared, frost creeping up the stone walls around her. "We need to stop him before he turns the entire kingdom into a circus." Aurora, ever the strategist, had an idea. "He only casts spells when he's asleep," she mused. "So, what if we make sure he has the best sleep ever *?" So that night, they put their plan into action. Operation Deep Sleep. Aurora, using her extensive knowledge on the subject, brewed the most soothing, dreamless chamomile tea imaginable. She fluffed his pillows to a cloud-like softness and tucked him into bed with a very boring story about tax law. Meanwhile, Elsa used her powers to create the perfect sleeping environment. She lowered the temperature in his chambers to a crisp, cool level. She soundproofed the walls with a layer of soft, packed snow, muffling all noise from the ongoing festival. She even created a gentle, silent flurry of snowflakes outside his window, a living snow globe to lull him into a deep slumber. It worked. The wizard slept like a log. He didn't move, he didn't mumble, he didn't even snore. He just slept peacefully. For the first time in weeks, the rest of the festival went off without a hitch. No more singing flowers, no more gravy fountains. The next morning, the wizard woke up feeling more refreshed than he had in years. "My goodness," he exclaimed, "I feel wonderful. I must have had the most magical sleep." Aurora and Elsa just smiled at each other, sharing a secret look. They had faced down curses and frozen kingdoms, but sometimes the greatest magic of all is just ensuring a friend gets a good, peaceful night's rest. And maybe, just maybe, saving the kingdom from a plague of tutu-wearing guards in the process.